Over the past 6 months or so, a huge amount of attention has been paid to government snooping and the bulk collection and storage of vast amounts of raw data, all in the name of national security. What most of you don't know or are just beginning to realize is that a much greater and more immediate threat to your privacy is coming from thousands of companies you've never heard of in the name of commerce. They're called data brokers, and they're collecting, analyzing, and packaging some of our most sensitive personal information and selling it as a commodity to each other, to advertisers, even the government, often without our direct knowledge. Much of this is the kind of harmless consumer marketing that's been going on for decades. What's changed is the volume and nature of the data being mined from the internet and our mobile devices, and the growth of a multi-billion-dollar industry that operates in the shadows with virtually no oversight. No one even knows how many companies there are trafficking our data, but it's certainly in the thousands and would include research firms, all sorts of internet companies, advertisers, retailers, and trade associations. The largest data broker is Acxiom, a marketing giant that brags it has on average 1,500 pieces of information on more than 200 million Americans. It's much harder for Americans to get information on Acxiom. The company declined our request for an interview and is fairly vague on the methods it uses to collect information and who its customers are.
It's not about what we know we're sharing, it's about what we don't know is being collected and sold about us.
And Tim Sparapani says it's a lot. He's been following the data broker industry for years, first as a privacy lawyer for the American Civil Liberties Union, then as Facebook's first director of public policy. He's currently advising tech companies and app makers. Sparapani thinks people would be stunned to learn the kind of information that's being gathered about them and that could end up in their profiles. Religion, ethnicity, political affiliations, usernames, income, and family medical history. That's just for openers.
What about medications?
Certainly. You can buy from any number of data brokers by malady the list of individuals in America who are afflicted with a particular disease or condition.
Alcoholism?
Yes, absolutely.
Depression?
Certainly.
Psychiatric problems?
No question.
History of genetic problems?
Yes. Cancer, heart disease, you name it, down to the most rare and unexpected maladies.
Sexual orientation?
Of course.
How do they determine that?
Well, based on a series of other data points they've bought and sold. What clubs you may be frequenting, what bars and restaurants you're making purchases at, what other products you may be buying online.
And all of this can end up in a file somewhere that's being sold maybe to a prospective employer.
Yeah, not only can it, it is, Steve.
With all this information and your name attached to it.
Yes, exactly.